Hello, hello. Welcome once again to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven, 33-year veteran of comics, science fiction, fantasy, horror, and role-playing games. And it started a little bit late tonight because my co-host is Sleepy Joe. Chris Hall, how you doing, buddy?
I'm here.
You made it.
I did, yes. And you got to give me 1 second. I got to unlock the door so my wife can come in when she gets home.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Oh, poor boy fell asleep. He overworked himself on an assignment, and I think he fell asleep at the keyboard for like 2 hours or something. But yeah, he'll be right back. But I hope you guys are doing well. Your week was better than mine was. If you guys were here on Tuesday, you heard the rant. I'm not going to go into it again. But it's been kind of a weird stuff going on. I mean, people are asking me to comment about what's his name? The guy who just got killed. Kirk, I think his name is. Charlie Kirk. I just got a mail from his group today in the mail. And I was like, it wasn't for me, it was for my dad, but it was kind of silly. Because the commentaries in the letter were like so morbidly humorous since he's gone now, and some of the things say, I'm not going to give up the battle. Well, I guess you didn't give up the battle, but you're gone. But it's kind of a both humorous and sad. But anyway, Chris is back. You ready to talk cool movies?
I am. Let's go.
Alrighty. Phil Tippett's Mad Dreams and Monsters 2019, written and directed by Gilles Penso and Alexandre Poncet, produced by Alexandre Poncet, edited by Gilles Penso, starring Phil Tippett, Jules Roman, Joe Dante, John Davison, Dennis Murin, Chuck Duke, Paul Verhoeven, and more. Genre is documentary, released October 2019 in the U.S., and it has a runtime of 1 hour and 26 minutes. What it's about. It's an in-depth documentary and overview of the career of Phil Tippett, one of American cinema's most important stop-motion and VFX artists. Chris, what did you because you didn't tell me.
I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I didn't enjoy it as much as I had liked other documentaries.
Okay.
It was really, really good though. But just kind of average. When I first saw the cover of it, I was like, who's that hobo that they have on the front cover of this movie?
Mm-hmm.
But it was a really good, in-depth documentary about one of the most important people in the special effects industry today.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay. We'll go with what I thought then.
yeah.
This is an extremely well done film that not only presented Phil Tippett's talents, but also the values he tries to maintain as a visual effects expert and director. I greatly appreciated the vulnerability and that the directors were able to present by putting his wife Jules Roman at the fore of the film as a studio partner and business manager, and explaining how important she was and is to his successes. By his own admission in the film, he would have failed 10,000 times over if not for her.
Right.
I also appreciate Tippett's own humility in stating his own lack of business acumen. Again, how he would have gone out of business 10,000 times over if not for his woman. I loved how they showed his emotional breakdown as the industry shifted from practical effects to CGI, and how Jules essentially forced him to adapt, and how they demonstrated how especially early on, beginning of.
Are you there?
On my back.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Yeah, stupid internet cut out on me. Where was I before you lost me?
Jules forced him to adapt.
Okay, and how they demonstrated that they still need practical effects to sculpt and do motion work as baselines for more realistic CGI effects back in the 90s when this was first having the shift over. There was a lot of I learned about his work that maybe I should have known and would have known if I were more of a movie effects person, but it was quite informative and enjoyable film to watch. It also made me want to go find his more personal feature films like Prehistoric Beast from '85, Mutant Land from 2010, and his three-part Mad God shorts from 2014 and 2017, and the feature film from 2021. Originally, I thought I'd give it a 5. Chris wanted to give it a 3 to a 3.5, so I split the difference and said both of us give it a 4.
I would agree with that.
Okay. Now, that having been said, watching this film also made me think about which features and visual effects of Tippett's are my favorites. Chris can chime in also with some of his, but and there will be some of his shown, but hopefully he's got a few more, but we'll see. Let's look at some of mine. These are not in any particular order. Vermithrax the Dragon from Dragon Slayer from 1981. As you can see by the photo, the practical effects for making this character were made to the extremely large life-size level for parts of the film. This is only the neck and the head. There was also an upper torso and arms made for the film for different shots. And those were 12 to 13 foot wide across for the chest piece. So we're talking like a massive chest thing, almost like a giant hill or something.
Right.
The significance of this character design is that it's not only directly influenced many of the dragon designs from major film since, including the design for Smaug for the Lord of the Rings series, dragons from the film Ring of Fire, in which the designer Bill Basso, who did the dragon maquettes, was trained in part by Tippett and Stan Winston between the two-person studios and had worked with Tippett on Jurassic Park. And, of course, Draco from the film Dragonheart, which Tippett also designed and was more CGI, but he went back to what he was doing with Vermithrax and played it up a little bit more with the CGI. Is this one of your favorites too, or?
No.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. My next one is Ed 209 from RoboCop 1987, one of the best stop motion animatronics and sculpts characters of the 1980s, in my opinion. Ed 209 was both a badass design that looked hardcore tough, but was so well designed from a naturalist perspective, with the legs and the feet having specific designs that made it difficult to move over certain types of terrain that they used to comedic value in the film. Now, this one was based off the Tippett sketch, but was finalized and designed by Craig Hayes under Tippett's supervision. By the way, Hayes is properly credited for that in the documentary, which is another thing I greatly appreciated about this film, is that despite the fact that Tippett receives much of the acclaim for the work in Hollywood itself, he clearly respects his people and wants them credited for their contributions, which is something I cannot necessarily say about other major VFX studio heads. There's a lot of Stan Winston FX that Winston had absolutely nothing to do with personally.
Right.
For example.
And it's all about contract and contract law. And Phil had signed contracts and they wanted his name on the movie. And, because he had said, to his special effects, he's like, I want your name. You're the guy who did all this. And the studio's like, nope.
Yeah. Why can't you just say Phil Tippett Studios and put their names underneath who did what? Just
right.
What difference does it make? But whatever. That's studio for you.
Yes.
Anyway, my next one is the Rancor. Now, this is one that both of us like.
Yes,
Now,
absolutely.
some people are going to think I'm going to give this one a little bit too high praise, or maybe suggest that Jabba the Hutt is the more important character in the opening arc of Jedi. And you could certainly make a fair case for that, and that is also a Tippett design. But I think the Rancor represented a more primal threat than Jabba, who was basically just a slug lying on his throne. The original concept for the Rancor, described by Tippett as a bear and a potato, was later developed into a suit by art director Joe Johnston. But the project was abandoned due to its unsatisfying appearance. So they didn't go with the actual suit. They went with the final design, realized as a Bunraku style rod puppet. If you guys don't know what that is, do you know how to explain that kind of a puppet to him, to the audience, Chris?
Um, not off the top of my head.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, it's kind of like there's 2 or 3 different people operating it with different rods, as well as a main person, like holding the whole body together. So anyway, it was sculpted by Phil Tippett and Randy Dutra and brought to life by a team of puppeteers, including Tippett, Tom St. Amand, and David Susala. There were also multiple maquettes and stop motion figures shot at extra high frame speeds, as explained in the film. So,
yeah, this is one of just the seminal designs from the Star Wars series in whole. I remember this as a kid. I remember being terrified by this as a kid.
mm-hmm.
I thought the thing was real. I mean, I guess that's the highest praise you can give, right? Like it looked real to me, and just holding my breath, and like Luke jumping around trying to fight it. It was just a phenomenal design.
Absolutely. Okay, our next one are the Velociraptors from Jurassic Park from 1993. Now, I could have gone with the T-Rex, I suppose, but I chose the Raptors because they had the pack mentality going on, which was not necessarily true to the form of how the dinosaurs actually theoretically work. It could be either or. We don't really know because they're long gone. But anyway, they were far more complex, I thought, in their motions and stuff, because the T-Rex is basically just chasing the one Jeep, and they had to go through buildings and go through rooms and other stuff. So I was like, I thought it was a little more interesting effects for that one.
Right.
Plus, it was a combination of the blending of the practical VFX with emerging CGI work of the period, because at that time, CGI effects were mostly only about 2 to 3 years along that point, and we were much more heavily reliant upon physical VFX at that time. So, Tippett and his crew were the innovators alongside ILM at this period. So,
right. And so I kind of follow archaeology a little bit. And archaeologists are they're 99% sure that velociraptors were basically just giant murder chickens with feathers, loaded with feathers.
Right. But we didn't come to that conclusion until well after Jurassic Park was made.
Exactly. And they look much scarier this way. So much more intimidating, much scarier. So,
yeah. Well, even if they had, honestly, I think if they had the feathers on there in certain ways, I think it'd still look pretty damn frightening.
Yeah, if they did it right, but some of the designs that I've seen, they're fluffy pink orange,
right.
Yeah, like I said, giant murder chickens.
Yeah, so
yeah, exactly. And if you've ever been around a chicken, those things are vicious.
Yes. Okay, my next one is Kane's Brain from RoboCop 2, 1990. While this is one of Tippett and Craig Hayes' more static designs, as it's just a floating brain, eyes, and spinal column in a tank, it's just a really cool design and VFX that pays homage to the classic brain and jar motif of the 50s and 60s brain horror films, such as Donovan's Brain from 1953 and The Brain from Planet Arus from 1957, skewed the Tippett's art and film direction, while Erwin Kershner directed the film. Tippett was basically a co-director in that movie. It's somewhat minimalist, but it's elegant. I'm amazed that they have not made a lava lamp type prop that people can buy of it for the crazy VFX guys who like horror props, because this would just be an iconic thing to have displayed in your room, right?
That would be cool. Yes, I would love that.
Yeah. So yeah, I just think that would be really cool, and I love being able to show some of Tippett and Hayes' designs for the art for it as well. It's just really fun stuff.
Yeah, Tippett was a fantastic line artist. So
yes,
as well.
Okay, here's one of yours.
Yeah, this is one of my picks. The giant kangaroo goat ram / whatever with white Yeti fur. Sort of skip running across the ice really spoke to me as a kid when I first saw this on film. It probably helped that I lived in Michigan, actually, and could actually dream about riding one of these to school back in the day, right?
Yeah.
and in the film, with him being off and Han Solo having to stuff Luke into the corpse of the dead Tauntaun.
I have a question. If the
Yeah.
Tauntaun had frozen to death, how is it going to keep Luke warm?
Because its blood vessels and everything on the outside and its brain froze to death. The inside and the guts were still warm.
I don't know. But anyway, I always thought that was kind of a weird thing, you know?
It was a cool, very gory scene, though. Like, you didn't expect that.
No, he didn't.
That happened, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah, you didn't. First off, you didn't expect the Tauntaun to die. Second,
Right.
you didn't expect Han to go, lightsaber, practical use.
Right? Yeah. And the vocalizations for the Tauntaun I thought were fantastic as well. That
Now, I'm not going to lie. This is an iconic design, and I even sort of used it as an influence in one unreleased comic series of mine called Spellseeker. I told the artist I wanted riders on a lizard, zebra, kangaroo type called the Zebra in the first few pages, and it sort of looks like a version of a Tauntaun as a result.
Right. And everything
go
ahead. Everything in this design is functional as well, too. Like, from the horns, that can be used for defense, or even to, like, chip away ice or whatever, to the claws and the posture and everything that's idealized for running, the tail for balance. Everything in this design is functional. So it's just fantastic. The deep set eyes, to protect from like the snow. Yeah, it's just really, really nice.
Sorry, I had to go get the book to show you what I meant. Those are the Zebra.
Oh yeah, there we go.
It's like if you shaved them off and gave them black and white zebra stripes.
Right. Yeah.
And they're in the desert instead of in the snow. So that was kind of the thing there. Yeah. We didn't get to release that book because the artist who was working on that book passed away. But I have to get a new artist. But yeah, definitely one of the cool things there. And then here's another one of your picks.
Oh yeah, wonderful B horror movie. I absolutely loved the design of these piranha. Tippett took an actual piranha design and somehow made it meaner and scarier. So yeah, wonderful. Completely glossed over because of the success of Jaws a few years earlier. Tippett and his wife Jules Roman just aced this. You can't tell just how absolutely gorgeous the paint jobs and the hundreds of fish they had to make molds of for the film actually were from these photos. Yeah, the paint jobs are amazing. Just real enough to freak you out, but the faces are just fantasy enough to remind you it's not. An absolutely outstanding work.
Yeah. I probably have seen the movie, but I don't remember seeing the movie, so I really can't speak to it. But when you said Piranha, I knew that this is like one of your like favorite, like.
Yeah, I'm a water beastie, horror fan. So yeah,
yeah, I figured that was part of it. So yeah. Are there other characters that you didn't get a chance to tell me about? Maybe.
yeah. So I am a huge fan of course, the T-Rex
Mm-hmm.
from
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Sorry, my brain is still trying to wake up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if like a modern audience understands how amazing this creature was.
Right. For the era it came out in, right?
For the era it came out of, and just how poorly a lot of the CGI, like even in the like 2000s, like the early to mid 2000s, some of the CGI was just piss poor. And you'd look back and you'd be like, how did we go from Jurassic Park T-Rex, which could have literally stepped off the screen and it looks so real, to this? So
right. And what it was so much of the CGI was done via computer AI, such as it was even back then. Whereas what they did in Jurassic was they actually, Tippett and company actually made the physical maquettes. They actually did it, and they were naturalist illustrators, naturalist artists. They understood the anatomy. They did it right to begin with. And when you have a base to work from that's right, then your CGI looks better.
Right. And they came up with a revolutionary way of animating, which you've probably heard of. Most of the audience has probably heard of mocap, motion capture, right? And they have little spots that the camera can focus in on, like on the joints, that tells where the character is in computer space. And they took the maquettes, the models, and did that with the models and put the little spots on there. So when they moved, that translated to the computer. And that also was just revolutionary.
Yeah, that was called Go Motion.
Yeah.
And they didn't just put the little dots; they actually built the sensor motion devices into the maquettes as well, so that when you're doing the motion sensor stuff, you're only moving it this little tiny fraction in the stop motion. You kind of have to understand that you have to film it, and then you have to film it at super speeds or at full speeds.
Yeah.
And then that all has to translate over into what the computer's doing. Plus, you have like in between shots. And that's where a lot of the modern stuff that didn't have the practical effects use, they don't have the in-betweens. They get decent still shots, but the in-betweens are very difficult because they don't really AI does not necessarily understand muscle motion yet.
No.
Even now, 30 years later, it does not completely grasp that. And that's understandable in a way because different bodies move different ways. And I'm not just talking about, person to person, but entity to entity, as far as species and stuff like that. You get different looks, and it's very difficult because the computer wants to normalize or what's the word I'm trying to think of? Standardize everything into one consistent, and you can't do that because then you lose the reality of it.
Right. That's why the best animators in the world, they send them to study modern animals. They send them to
Mhm.
zoos to watch and see how things move, and the not just the motion from A to B,
Mhm.
but the follow through. Because when you move, you get you have that a little bit of follow through.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it's just amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
Okay, so besides the T-Rex, what else?
I was a big fan of his trying to think here. I love the Mad God movie. I did watch the movie. It
Oh,
was
you've seen it? I've never seen any of the Mad God films. I want to see those.
yeah, it's and the Mad God film is just the collection of the shorts,
Okay.
all in one. Yeah. So yeah, the movie is it's just it's balls out there. It's just crazy, crazy stuff.
Hmm.
But really well done. The creature designs are amazing. Um, yeah,
Okay.
it's on Netflix, I believe, or probably Tubi. So go
It's not on
watch it.
TV. I gotta look for it.
It's not okay. I know I've seen it around. So yeah, if you have Roku or uh, the Amazon Fire Stick, just do a search for Mad Gods and or Mad God, and it should come up. And I'm sure it's free somewhere. So
Alrighty. Well, let's see. I'm trying to think. I mean, he's done so many movies, of course, over the years, and I don't know. It was really interesting because I mean, he was in Willow. He worked for Willow. How about the Crater Lake Monster from '77? Did you
that
like that?
was yeah, that was really nice as well.
Mhm. Okay. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, the brain bug from Starship. That's what I was trying to think of from Starship Troopers.
Okay.
Um, absolutely love that. It was disgusting. It was just big and bloated and disgusting and nasty. It was just a really, really great design.
Well, I think all the stuff from Starship Troopers was well designed, but yeah,
It was, yeah. But when
Brain
they
Bug
brought
was
out that,
maybe the most unique of the things because I mean, I mean the army. Well, what do you want to call them? The soldier bugs, I guess.
yes,
Uh, what the fuck were they? I mean, they were really, really alien designed. I mean, it's like
yeah. I
what?
mean, you could, I
How can
think
they
you could
see?
tell that I think
Yeah,
you could tell that they took something from like a little bit from like a praying mantis and like something from like a certain species of beetles and stuff like
yeah,
that. Just kind of threw everything together
yeah.
um,
It was
into
like,
one
what the
crazy
heck is
design.
happening? You
But the
know,
brain bug was just so disgusting, and like the maw was just so uh,
big.
ovarian or vaginal. It it really was. And then the picture in the movie of the guy shoveling slime into the hole, like
Mhm.
I love that. That was
Mhm.
so great.
Yeah, and of course, um, the comments and the dialogue of some of the film at that in that mark,
Hmm.
uh, like I can't think of his name. He plays Barney on the one TV series.
Yeah, it's
Neil Patrick Harris. There we go.
yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Um, yeah, when he goes, yes, we have to go back. We're going back to P. You know, the planet P. We're going back to P, and it's like, oh, yeah. And was that in the book? I don't remember being that in the book. You know?
No, they had a lot of creative license between, with the movie where that stuff that wasn't in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Yeah.
and I have a newfound respect actually because of this documentary for Paul Verhoeven. Um
Mm-hmm.
I was very familiar with his work, but I don't think I'd ever seen him talk or any interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way he talked about Tippett and the admiration and the respect he had for him
Mm-hmm.
gives me a newfound respect for Paul Verhoeven.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Well, I guess, because I mean, so many directors kind of ignore their ads and their second director and third director, shot directors, and they don't really. I mean, they'll praise the special effects, but I praise the special effects team.
mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, but it was really my vision. Yeah, well, no, it really wasn't your vision. It was their vision, and you just approved it.
Yeah, he even says in the documentary, you know, for Starship Troopers, I believe it was, right? There were 3 directors for this film. It wasn't just my film.
Yeah,
There were
exactly.
3 directors who had just as much input and deserved just as much credit as I do.
Yeah, yeah, and of course, Starship Troopers 2 was actually directed by Phil Tippett as well. So, there you go. But yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that it's really amazing how we look at this stuff, and he also designed like the Ewoks, which
Mm-hmm.
no one would have, you wouldn't have thought that, because I mean, he didn't design the Wookiees. You would have thought the guys who designed the Wookiees designed the Ewoks. It's just they're shorter.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, it's something different, and there's just a lot of stuff that he was in. He did work on Hollow Man. I don't know if you guys remember that movie.
Yeah, that was in the film, actually, the cast of
Yeah,
his face.
yeah,
The Kevin
yeah,
Bacon's face.
yeah. So I mean, there's just a lot of stuff that he's done that I thought it was worth our time, to look at this guy, because I mean, everybody talks about Winston and they talk about Harryhausen and people of that era a little bit more with stop motion.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I think Tippett was really the groundbreaker
Absolutely.
of the era.
Absolutely. He was, yes.
And, not that Hollywood doesn't respect him. I think Hollywood does acknowledge and respect him, deservedly so. But I think that a lot of non-film aficionados or people like me who, we both like films, but we're not like mad on about every little aspect of every director or every special effects person.
Right.
The way some people are, and not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm that way about certain comic people, and they're that way about movie people. It's just, that's the way I look at it. But I just would love to have seen a little bit more acknowledgement, I guess, for different things that he did outside of Star Wars. Because Star Wars, I mean, he did so much stuff for Star Wars, it was funny. But do you remember the movie Slice?
Yes. Love that movie.
Tell them about Slice.
Is it Slice or Splice?
Slice, SLISE, with a exclamation mark.
Is that's the one with the alien or the girl, right?
Yeah. Hold on. That is the. I'm trying to find it now.
Oh no, I have never seen this one then. I was thinking of a different movie.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if it's See, it's got me mixed up too. I'm looking at it on. I'll have to check and see here. It mentions him, but it doesn't mention him properly. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So let me see if I can go to.
Because you weren't talking about Splice, right?
No, it says
Okay.
Slice. I don't know. This is interesting. Let me see if it doesn't really list it in here. Let me see if I can find it. See, it's not even listed in his films, so I don't know if that's actually true or not. So, yeah, that's kind of mixed it up there a little bit. Okay, well, let's see what else he's done. You know, he's not listed in his actual. When I'm looking at his other stuff here for selected filmography.
He was the writer, director, and producer. Oh no, he had nothing to do with the Slice movie.
Okay, yeah, that I don't know why they had it linked to that on the Wikipedia there for a second there, but you know, but anyway, there's just different things he's into, so I don't know. It's interesting that he does certain things, so
Right.
but alrighty, well. With that being said,
So he was though involved in the creature development for Dren, the girl alien monster for the movie Splice.
oh, okay, all right.
That's probably where the confusion came in. So
Yeah, they probably put slice and they meant splice. Okay,
yeah.
all right, that makes sense. All right. Well, you're the more horror guy than me, so I should have.
Yeah, well, so Splice was an amazing movie, and the character designs in that were fantastic and just creepy. And Anna, what's her face? Can't think of her last name.
Delphine Chinek.
No, I thought it was somebody else.
Well, I'm going by what it says here on villainsfandom.com. So that's the one that's like half looks like she's like lower half like a satyr.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says Delphine Chinek.
Okay, all right. I thought it was the different actress.
Yeah,
Because it looks a lot like the one who did Magic from New Mutants.
yeah, I know who you mean.
Anna Taylor-Joy. Does that?
Yeah.
I mean, does she not look like Anna Taylor-Joy?
Not really, because she's like double the age.
No, I'm talking about the monster itself.
Oh,
From Splice.
It could be.
Yeah, it looks so much like Anna Taylor-Joy. It's crazy.
But yeah. Yeah, I've never actually seen this, so I'd have to.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah,
it's a very uncomfortable movie.
It looks very uncomfortable just looking at the shots of it.
Yeah.
So, okay.
It's a good movie. It's a great movie, but yeah, it's very, very. There's scenes that are very uncomfortable to watch.
Okay, so
which they were designed that way. So
yeah, so there you have it. Those are some of our favorite characters, and if I guess I should share the screen a little bit there and show you guys what he's talking about. That is what he's talking about.
Yes, and if you look at the face, it looks like Ann Taylor-Joy.
Well, not really, but I don't think so.
Just because of the wide set eyes. Now I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this movie.
I like this right there. That's kind of
Right.
huh? So there you go. But yeah, that's a cool one. So there you have it. And so we know that we don't know what we're watching next week yet, do we?
No, we have not picked a movie.
Okay.
But as soon as we do, we will keep you updated. We'll get you updated and let y'all know.
Yep. So tomorrow, what are we watching? Or what are we doing, I should say? What are you doing, I should say?
Tomorrow, yeah, is Alex Macris. Thank you. He is the head of Aardvark Productions. He makes tabletop RPG books. He does graphic novels and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I'm really looking forward to talking to Alex. And that is tomorrow on the Glass House website. Glass House Presents Throwing Stones podcast. That's at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if that's something you think you'd want to watch, and there's going to be a great portfolio reviews as always. So tune in.
Alrighty. That's pretty much all we got for tonight, folks. So if you want to reach out to us on social media, you can find me on Facebook at Lewis.BrightRaven and X at LewisBrightRaven2. You can see more of my artwork at deviantart.com/BrightRaven. You see some of Chris's artwork at deviantart.com/FatBoy73. You've been watching Quoth the Raven, Lewis BrightRaven, exclusively on YouTube. And if we can't reach me on social media, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you for some reason you miss me on, try Quoth the Raven, LBR72@gmail.com. And if I don't answer there or answer you here on the show, try Lewis BrightRaven at yahoo.com. And if you want to reach out to Chris, it's ghthrowingstones@gmail.com. And next week, on Thursday, we'll be doing our reviews and our third wheel. I know we really shouldn't call him that, but our triumvirate should be back in full power again, which Noah's returning. And
looking forward to having John back on.
Yeah, and so yes, anyway, he's going to actually respond to that email where he was getting ripped, I think, as part of what he's going to do next week. And I don't know if he's going to rip in anybody, but I just, whatever, we got that going on. We got reviews. Monday, we'll definitely be finishing up Dinosaur Sanctuary, presuming I get the last book by then. It was supposed to come out this week, I thought, or maybe it comes out next week. I don't know. Tuesday, I don't know if we're doing crowdfunding or if we're going to have a guest yet.
Okay.
I'm still waiting to hear back. And again, Thursday, John will be back, and then we have to figure out what's going on for the Friday night movie. So that's what we'll do. And so stay safe this weekend, folks. Have a good time wherever you're out doing with your family and friends. And we'll see you guys back here on Monday. Until then, Quoth the Raven, nevermore.